All right, we're in the mix. Tampa, is this Valentine's Day Eve?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't just remind you about that, did I?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Well, hopefully the she's aren't watching.
How long? Married 20 years, 15.
I saw a thing on the news today that said that Valentine's Day is a holiday for rookies.
Yeah, right. I agree.
It's a holiday for people that own flower shops.
Yeah, it's a big day of the year for them.
You know what they said the average man spends on Valentine's
Something that
Day?
dies in a week?
$336.
Not this man.
I ain't got it.
No way.
Sorry.
I do
honey,
not
if you're
have it.
Watching, I really do.
Well, maybe she's not, you know. We're working on getting the comments up here, guys. And we got I think for the most part, I know Travis out. He was fishing this afternoon.
Yeah, we had to go around the weather.
Yep, you got Rick, you got James. I mean, we've been fishing, right?
Yeah,
Travis
we'll take care of it.
All right, cool.
Travis holds the bar high, but I think we can cover it.
Cool. Well, I know I've been fishing quite a bit. Going into last week with this warm weather, I definitely changed the pattern, through the weekend. Really started getting totally away from some of those backwater, rivers, canals, and started moving out into open flats. I've been fishing out in the St. Pete area this past week or so, even through yesterday. And just with this, bait's been great. We've had access to that.
It's funny how it went from, brutal, miserable to
I was sheep heading it one
right.
day, and the next day I'm catching snook and got whitebait.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a climb from 52 to 74.
You never know, though, how the
Garrett,
fish
how's
pattern
it going, Big
is.
Dog? Got Baton Rouge in the house.
Baton Rouge, nice.
Yeah.
Good deal.
We would tell you some good redfish stories, but then we can't.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about our ref.
We can't.
We'll tell you about snook.
Yeah, we'll tell you about snook all day, too. But, yeah, man, I've been back in the live bait scene and out in open water, open grass flats, doing a lot of pothole fishing.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing on these lower tides. And then as it starts to come up, work up near some oyster bars and some mangroves. And, man, just some really banner days when you talk snook, redfish, trout. Really hasn't mattered. I mean, everything seems to be happy. Long as we get some moving water. It doesn't get too warm throughout the day where they want to get stagnant. And one thing, and even my clients, a lot of the clients I fished in this last week are locals. They are repeats. They do come out throughout. The average have been like, 22 to 26 inches with some bigger ones up near 30, 31. But, consistently they're telling me that these snook are they keep thinking they're having bigger fish on because the snook are pulling so much harder with how happy they are.
I just did a watch party.
A watch party?
We got a watch party going on up in here.
All right.
We
I don't
do?
know what
I don't
that
even
is.
know. I don't either. It was on
I'm not
my
sure.
phone, so.
We got Overstreet. Looks like his boat's back in action, so we're good to go there. But we might have to get him to post a little bit up. I know that the bait has in the north end of the bay, even though I haven't been there, I've been talking to some of the guys. Kevin, Kenny, Chris, those guys that I tend to be in contact with up there. They're getting bait up north too now. So
good.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little different this year, but hey, every year's different, and water temp, make adjustments
for sure.
And that's how you're going to be a better fisherman, because you can't really go on what you did last year, because especially it seems like the last 5 or 6 years that the weather's just different.
Yeah.
So looking at your water temps and knowing what you can do, and then I always, like, as I told you yesterday, you throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Yesterday, everything I did seemed to stick, which was nice. I mean,
yesterday was a really good bite. I think,
we had a front rolling in.
Yeah.
I mean, minus the 25-mile-an-hour winds. It was calm in the morning. It was easy to get
Jimmy.
bait, but these guys were bass fishermen, and my whole career, there's one thing that's been consistent. When you take a bass fisherman snook fishing,
he's going to set the hook.
They set the hook, and they're going to love it.
They're going to love it, yeah.
They love
Texas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's good, though, when you got good fishermen like that is, tomorrow we're going to be doing a little bit of post-front stuff, so the bite might be a little tough. But when you got the bass guys, they'll put the grind in.
That's right.
Because they're
Yeah.
just used to grinding.
Right.
You know, so
They understand the process. They understand it's fishing. You know, definitely a
yeah.
lot more patience. And I notice a tendency to want to stick things out. Like if they see the things we see, that we know what's about to happen, or fish bust here, swirl over there. You know, they're all into that. They're picking up on all that
Right.
stuff. You know.
Yeah,
true.
the guys I have tomorrow, the guys I had on Tuesday, so following up 60, 70 snook days is going
that might be tough.
Yeah, that's all right.
You can do it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It was pretty good. I was just like, so I was actually trying to get some redfish. I rolled into one of the spots, and we catch some snook there. We get some reds, but I don't catch a ton of snook there. I've caught maybe 15. We had doubles I was like, let's go.
You must have had those fish just
I don't know. They
Balled
just decided to go to
packed
that
up
corner.
when they were in
Well,
transition.
yeah.
And they were all staged in there.
I'm
I mean-
seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of those balls of fish, man, that they just don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And
It's-
Fish
it's-
balls.
Fish balls.
You're seeing a lot
of-
fish balls.
I like fish balls, especially when they're biting.
All over the place. Yeah, we were in an area yesterday with some trout where, I mean, the client, they were even saying, like, you know, joking around and saying this bait won't last 5 seconds. You know, this bait won't last
Yeah.
5 seconds. And they were seeing if they could make the bait last more than 5 seconds. If they could, they'd reel it back to the boat and let the bait go free. I'm like, all right,
Starting to show up in some of the deeper areas.
Pensacola.
I really challenged myself this year to not get irritated at the markers. Last year was probably the most challenging year for me in particular, among others. And we've already seen it kind of start. And
Yeah.
no, I'd say 99% of it's not with recreational guys.
No.
But
It's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
Just might as well get used to it and figure you're going to
Well,
have 2 months of I ain't going to say shouting matches at the markers, but you're going to have 2 months that people, I mean,
You won't be the only one there.
well, and the thing about it is you can roll out there and have a spat with one of your closest contacts on the water. I
Yeah.
mean, I've never in my life had anybody that mad at me.
you gotta make
And
a
we
pond.
were running a trip together. It was a 2-boat deal.
That was awkward when you
And,
got back to the dock.
It was awkward before we got back to the dock, and it just it all worked out. But don't get your feelings hurt at the markers. I guess is what I'm saying.
You know what? I've been asked that before. Like, what's kind of the etiquette as far as, you know,
What
first
the
on
etiquette
market,
used to be and what it
iPilot.
is now, I think, are
Yeah. If you're the first one at the marker and you anchor, you have set the tone.
Yeah.
If you're drifting, you have set the tone. What's tough is when you're drifting and somebody wants to roll in there,
An
anchor,
iPilot or anchor.
and mess your drift up when you were the first one there.
Yeah.
Well-
And that's the etiquette. Now,
That's how I've always played it.
an bag that wants to roll in there and do it different. So
me.
no,
Just
no. Or you can be anchored chumming and have somebody
Start doing
Well,
the drift.
drift
there's
by and throw
sometimes-
right on your chum line or something.
There's
So-
sometimes where it's really just a communication thing out
Yes.
there. Amongst guides, not recreational guides, a lot of times for me, I'm running a double, the wind's
Hey,
blowing
Daryl.
15, I'm pressed for time. I'm already pressed for time. I get out there. I will drop my trolling motor, but I will try not to mess you. If everybody's throwing
Mhm.
and they're not getting bait, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try something a little different. If I'm marking it,
Mhm.
I'll get on the other side of the marker, or I even say, hey, Rick, let me try to chum this for a minute.
Mhm.
If I get it to come up, just throw where I'm chumming.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what I say about working, because like lately the bait has not wanted to rodeo real well. 10 minutes the other day, and it chummed right up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't do that. If I can just roll up and throw, it's easier. But if I can throw the net 10 less times and throw a little chum out there and get it, that, you know, so
I like Scott's style.
You know, that will go a long way at the markers, I think. Just
Yes,
the
it will.
presence of the 50 cal on the bow,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I would say that's the tone setter more than who's first, Rick.
well,
that will definitely set the tone. Yes.
Good one, Scott.
Yeah, you trump everything out there with
Yeah.
a 50 cal.
sir, you can go in front of me.
Yeah, here.
Let me get out of your way.
Do you want me to throw the net for you?
Yeah.
But, you know, you said something. It really, communication is what it kind of boils down to. I've never seen an instance where if you are able to communicate or if your intentions are different than theirs, tell them and ask if they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Usually goes a lot better than just doing it.
So he's moved south. So I and those of you guys that
You
no,
think he's still
no.
alive? Key West is pretty rough.
Oof.
Rick's been known to chuck a leg. Well, David, you're right. I have.
Hey, he's not as aggressive in his old. He's more gripey now.
I worked
He'll bark
18
at
years
you.
with Dave Montague, so years ago. Those was many moons ago, but
he's getting
yeah,
old
I've mellowed
now.
out, Dave.
He's getting soft.
You'd be so
He'll
proud of me.
still get mad at you.
He'd be proud of me.
He gets mad at me every once in a while. Rick don't get too mad at me because I give him bait quite often.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that's one thing I can say. These young bucks are helping the old man out a lot.
I ain't the young buck anymore now.
Age-wise.
I'm starting to. They started calling me the old timer. I took offense to it.
Prieto.
Yeah,
That's funny. Yeah.
it's yeah, we're the old timers, I guess. But yeah, it's communication. And you know, nobody owns the markers. Just because I have a charter that I need to pick up doesn't give me any right over a recreational guy.
Excuse me.
However, I will tell you this: I've had less problems with recreational guys, way less than I have with guides. A lot of rec guys, I've had to say, "Hey, man, I you got to pick up, do your thing," and I'll be like, "No, man, I'm good." If I'm in a rush, I say, "Listen, man, let me see if I can get it real fast." I've given them bait, done that at the bridge, so I always try to.
That's like getting the key to the city at the bridge, though.
Yeah,
when you can't get a good stall, and you know there's bait, you know, and it's not down the whole bridge, and you got somebody up there, and you just throw that out there. Hey, buddy, if you'll let me,
I told the guy the other day, last week at the bridge, the bait was just, the tide was ripping, and I had gotten bait. Travis was with me on the outside, and I'm throwing. He's cool. I said, "Look, man," I said, "you got your line." I said, "Can you do me a favor?" I was like, "Give me 2 throws on the outside here." I said, "The bait," I said, "I know we got this whole bridge." I explained to him. I said, "But there's no bait that way.
Right.
It's all right here. Otherwise, I would not be bothering." He's like, "No, it's cool, man." So and come to find out, when I drifted over, there was no bait there on my bottom machine the next day. So I was like, "Well, you can put your line back down." But yeah, communication, man, it goes both ways.
Sure.
So but yeah, the bait's starting to show up. We're gonna hit spring. Guys are starting to get busy. We're starting to all be running. Fishing's good though. You know, the trout fishing hasn't been real good for me, but I haven't really been phenomenal. Scott, I did not fish today. I fished yesterday.
Neither did I.
I'm fishing tomorrow all the way through when I leave on the 19th. So I'll have some good reports. Unfortunately, I won't be able to give them next Wednesday because I won't be here.
Well, it was kind of nasty weather this morning. I was
I didn't
supposed to fish today.
Oh, it was ugly.
Moved my trip, and I know you did the same thing.
Yeah.
You moved your trip.
I listened to it rain. It was raining all night too. And
yeah,
that wind kicked up.
I'll give y'all a little tip of the week. I caught just as many snook this week on dead bait.
Yeah. There was another captain I talked to. I had to pick up, I had to go to Power Pull after yesterday, and so I stopped at. I fished out of St. Pete, but I stopped at Gandy just to hose things off. So I didn't have to wait till I picked my kids up, and I bumped into Kenny there, and he said could not get bait. Had been getting bait daily, could not get it. Had to go back to the truck, put on the truck, go buy some shrimp, and what shrimp they had left at 9 o'clock, and for the heck of it, bought a box of thread fins. And he said those thread fins saved his butt.
Lit them up.
Oh, I've been using sardines that we had. Actually, I have some that are in a gallon bag in my cooler right now under ice. But I didn't salt them, or I didn't do the Travis method. I did the Jason method, which typically means they're mush. I just threw them in there after the trip, and they're so mush. Like, we're catching them, but like the guys are casting them, and if you don't get it right in the nose, the bait just like, it's like a piece of nasty hamburger.
We're gonna have to go through that once. One of these days is go through that brining process when we are gonna freeze our own bait.
Travis, when I got bait in my well, I don't go, well, let me brine this, because you got to ice it, you got to put salt on it. I mean, it's a process. I'm like, but it does work, especially like tarpon season.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where I've been out there on the second day of ice down bait that I didn't put salt in. I had customers like in the front of the boat gagging. Like I'm just like this. Like the thread fins are just. I'm making it rain. Hey, we caught tarpon them days though. Them tarpon didn't mind that stinky bait.
No, they don't. It smells.
So,
that's like
Travis gave us a report for his trip today.
oh yeah, he
awesome.
ran this
Good
red
job,
snook, trout,
big dog.
jacks, flounder, and a stingray.
Good
There you
job.
go.
Right after that front's usually good. Tomorrow I think the high pressure will sit in a little bit, but you know the old saying, "You chum, they will come."
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna make it rain.
Good deal. Temperatures regularly in the 80s.
Where I'll be at starting next Wednesday, I think it's gonna be a little colder than that.
What do you got going on?
He's
Going
our
to
resident.
Park City, man.
Jason's the resident snowboarder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going snowboarding from the 19th. We get there.
Yeah, it's going to be
19th
interesting.
I get back on the 25th.
Every
So,
year we just cross our fingers he don't come back injured.
Yes.
All right.
Keep crossing and whatever doll you've been rubbing or whatever, just keep doing whatever you've been doing.
You hear that, Travis? So we got Jason out 2 weeks in a row, so
Yeah.
we might need to lock down our old boy Wes Burns.
Wes Burns, where you at?
We need to get you
Get
out
old
here.
crazy Wes in here. He could bring the cavalry with the school bus.
Yeah.
Wes is a train wreck.
Brian ballyhoo on a steel bait tray over ice is the only way.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yesterday or day before yesterday.
I caught a couple last year like that.
It was that was a decent barracuda for the bay. I've never caught one. I mean, that thing looked like it was, what, 18, 20 inches?
Yeah.
I've only caught the little bitty ones in the bay.
I've caught one about that big. Well, his did look bigger.
It
I
did
thought
look
maybe
bigger.
he
It
was
looked bigger for. I've never caught
How
one.
big was it, Travis? Were
Probably
you doing the
12 inches
fish
in the
magic?
bay.
17.6.
Yeah.
You know, I took Keaton from the fly shop out in the afternoon yesterday before I went over to Power Pole, and I had some leftover bait, and I was like, bring that long rod out. His fly rod.
Dead stick it.
Dude, I said, hang on, before you go casting. He's like a, you know, purist, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like
You
down
couldn't
for
talk
this.
him into fly fishing with a greenback.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just and he could not get a fly back to the boat.
Wow.
And he ties all his own. So, I mean, what was really cool is the water was really clear. And when he put that fly in, I could see it all the way up on the shoreline, up in that, like, where the bigger fish were sitting in, like, 12 inches of water. That thing moving through the water looks every bit like a whitebait swimmer. I mean, it's no soft plastic, no plug can mimic a fly.
Well, I'm gonna test y'all a little bit.
All right.
So we'll give a little. This week is the big opening. This is our official opening to the industry, and Miami Boat Show. It's
Oh, okay.
today.
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah.
What's
like,
the?
huh?
Yeah.
Let's get some guesses
Like,
here.
I
What do you
didn't
think
get
the
the
big? Rick's probably not going to be on board with this, but what do you think the big release is?
Going on.
The who?
The Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've already heard a couple rumors about what they got going
I
on
think the
there.
big old 500 horsepower is coming out.
Yep.
And it ain't gonna weigh 5,000 pounds either. What do you think? What do you think they're gonna release? Any rumors you've heard?
From Mercury?
No, just
Oh.
in general.
Not really. I was very interested. I mean, both of us running Pathfinder. I was very interested to see. I don't know if you saw the picture of the 25 they brought in.
I did not.
Did you see the seats behind the console at all, or the leaning post?
I did not.
I'm anxious to see what that's all about.
Well, my boat's getting built, so they might need to slow down and put whatever.
Yeah,
if it's that cool.
definitely check. We got to check that out because, I think we both said that leaning post could use a little more capacity in there, and it was just. Here's what I know: it wasn't the leaning post we have, and it wasn't the other.
Maybe I need to be getting that in mind.
Yeah, so check that out. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I haven't followed.
Interesting.
That industry as close.
That one. Kimmy Hughes.
Rick, you know what I did hear? I hear Ranger is going to re-release the 2008 Ranger 22 Bay, and they need a prototype.
I got it for him.
Yeah.
I got it for him. Hey, Kimmy asked, as you as a captain, how do you feel about taking a person late in pregnancy? I am only asking because my niece wants to go on a charter, and I said I would ask.
As long as it don't happen on the boat,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not delivering.
I'd say like after 5-6 months, you start to get a little dicey.
Yeah.
But
Man, I've had them out there on, like, a week from due dates.
Well, I can tell you when Kathy was pregnant with James, we'd go out due to that. So, Kimmy, what I'd say is
probably don't want a real bumpy day.
Yeah, you need to get in touch with the captain or anybody, and the three of us and Travis would be happy to accommodate you too. But you want to ask questions about how far from the boat ramp are we going to be? How far is that boat ramp from the closest hospital or your preferred hospital? And then what are the conditions? Like, what kind of fishing are we going to be doing?
Right.
So
definitely stay close.
Yeah, I think
what
all of
kind
us
of
would
medical
know.
background that the captain has too.
Yeah.
Or we could always stay at a Holiday Inn Express the night before.
We could. But Kimmy, I think you can make it happen. But I think you know the questions asked, what we just talked about, and I think you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely what Scott is saying, like, inshore, offshore, how long are you going to be out there? Restroom facilities.
You don't want to go. I don't think if it's like their fifth child.
No,
because the more you have, the easier. Your restrictions starts getting bigger. So, I don't know.
Well, you got me all
That's
interested.
a tough question.
I know. I'm dying. I forgot that. I meant to talk to you about that this week, and I saw the picture, and I was thinking.
If Travis is watching, Travis is. I know you're Mr. Suzuki. Does Suzuki got anything crazy coming out?
They have.
We'll see.
I'll tell you what.
I always like seeing
what
your question.
What question?
What do we think is the greatest, biggest, the newest, whatever coming out?
I can tell you what I'm going to be hearing about. With the Mercury crew is going to be what the 500. I mean, that's going to be what everyone's going to come away talking about.
Here's my prediction, and I don't know anything from anything. They're going to supercharge that V8. It's going to be supercharged. It's probably going to run the 4 to 500, and puts out close to 500 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. If that's what happens, and
6-year waiting list.
Yeah, 6-year waiting list.
If that one has a 3-year, 2-year already.
I don't know how. I mean,
I think it is going to be cool.
It's a game changer because the problem with transoms on boats is typically weight. So now, what a
weight
boat,
and the torque.
It throws a loop though. Think about boat manufacturers. Everybody wants to go fast nowadays. So you got this boat that's like, let's just say a 26 Pathfinder's rated for a 350. Well, that boat can essentially the 350. Is now the same motor as the 500. Let's just say it's a 500. So people are going to go, well, why can't I put the 500 on there? Because the weight's no different.
Right.
Well, why do you know why the transoms or why the boats themselves
did not rate him? I think it's, and I could be wrong. Somebody could correct me on this. It has something to do with being yacht or certified. There's a certification that you get on there that I think they rate them. And I don't know where they get the ratings based on. I don't know how they come up with that rating, because from what I've been told from manufacturers is the transoms nowadays, for the most part, they can hold whatever. They're poured. They're the reinforcement they do on them. It's not really the horsepower. So
I would think it's more to do with the weight bolted onto the transom. And running through chop and running through the condition, all the things that a boat go. And the other thing on a transom, where I've heard from several builders or people in the boat industry, not properly loading the weight of the
exactly
boat.
what happened to my transom on the Ranger. And Scott says insurance for the builder. That's definitely it. But
probably,
but the builder has to come up with that number. So how does he?
No, I think it might be that yacht. There's a I can't think it's a yacht certificate. There's a certification that Pathfinder does.
Is it like NSCI or something like
what
that?
What it is? Yeah. So they have certain guidelines. I only know this. So like, if you get in a Pathfinder, every fitting that goes outside the boat has a shutoff valve. Every fitting. That's a standard that is required to get that yacht or whatever. It's some kind of organization certification. So I think that has something to do.
Hey, Justin.
Not sure what that.
Hey,
okay.
Yeah, got
I'm
it.
like,
well,
got me.
Isn't most boats have that shutoff valve like below anything below the waterline?
No.
Below the
a lot
waterline.
of boats. Yeah, no, a lot of boats don't have. Do you know how much some shutoff valves are? You're talking. I mean, a builder's cheaper, but a shutoff valve's at least $50 for a bronze or stainless one, and you figure every fitting in the back of the boat's got one, not just live well pumps. I'm talking like your outflow.
Yeah.
Your I know for a fact that the Canyon Bays didn't have them. They had them on your high-speed pickup, but the outflows didn't have.
See, my Rangers got them, but I just thought that it was.
Well, you probably have that certification. A lot of boats don't have
I got
them.
a sticker back there that says NSCI or something.
Yeah, it's like
that.
a yellow tag.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's probably why you have the cutoff valves back there. But I don't know all the details of it, but I would have. I remember Rob told me at Canyon Bay. I asked him. I said, "What's the boat rated for?" He goes, "Whatever you want to put on it." They said the Coast Guard don't rate the boats anymore. Anything over 22 foot or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, can I put a 400 on here?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." But it kind of changes the game because it's not a weight issue no more.
Right.
It's a horsepower. So it'll be interesting. I like to see what new boats come out. There's always usually a new boat, something new on the boat side, electronics. I almost guarantee you that I'm going to take another stab on an advertisement I've seen. Simrad Lawrence is going to come out with some type of trolling motor.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, who were we looking at on Facebook today? And we saw that
was
ad. And
Lawrence.
at the end, it's a trolling motor propeller.
Yeah, they did like a sneak peek, which you can obviously see it's a propeller spinning. So
which is a small tube
stuff on the Simrad side, I think that's getting released. I could be wrong on that, but I read into something. So it'd be cool. I want to go to the Miami show. I've never been.
Me neither.
But
I think y'all should go.
I want to, but every time I go, I'm busy and actually
when is it this weekend?
It's today, tomorrow. It started today, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, through Friday, right?
Yeah, something like that.
No,
I just get busy and it just never works out, but it'll be cool. You'll see some cool stuff released. It is funny that Mercury is so far back ordered on the new V6 and V8 that I don't know how they're going to release. I think what they'll end up doing is discontinuing their inline 6, 350, and 400, and they'll replace it. Which, from a production standpoint, makes sense. You have the same block coming across. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see.
He's
electric
outboard.
That's part of the new green deal.
That will eventually
or
be
a hybrid.
What I
Prieto
have never
outboard.
understood is, and I know there's a hill, but you imagine the fuel mileage you would have if you had a 2-speed transmission. If you could, like, when you're cruising, you could drop your RPMs 1,000.
Sure.
I'm surprised with all the fuel economy talk and the horsepower ratings that they have not come up with, like, the problem is like a 2-speed shift or like maybe a torque converter type thing that slides in as you lock in. A torque converter lets your engine spin up and then it grabs. I'm surprised they haven't come up with.
Don't seem like that would be that
big of a deal.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly not an engineer and don't have that kind of mind.
But that's what race cars do. They got a stall rating on them, and they effectively drop your RPMs without overloading your engine at cruise. You're going to get better fuel mileage. Anybody that tries to understand what we're saying, take your vehicle and knock it down to 4-speed and drive down the road and watch your fuel mileage. It's going to go down because your engine's turning more.
Yeah, get on the highway and start cruising at 65 in third gear.
Yeah, well, the problem with it that I think is you have a 300 that they make, and that might go on a bass boat or it might go on a 38 yellowfin. So to find something well,
you're starting to separate. You'll see outboards now are really starting to separate by application, and like the Yamaha has like the XTO offshore, their new deal where they only want it like rigged in pairs. I think you're starting to find a lot of these more application-specific engines, and because what you're looking for on a 38 yellowfin versus what you're looking for on a bass boat are two different things.
Did you know that 425 Yamaha runs a 17-pitch diameter or 17-inch diameter prop?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's like a special prop because the only thing I've ever seen is 16-inch.
2-speed gearbox. We got a link there. We'll have to check that out. What's up, Jeff?
So yeah, everything's good about that 425 except for it's 1,000 pounds. I don't know where they.
Yeah, and I would the only defense to that is, I guess, in their intended application, weight doesn't make a huge difference. I don't know. I don't know.
Weight to me in the boating industry has always been the kicker. 4-strokes come out Why didn't anybody run them? Performance was crap.
But
and
we're
they
always
weighed too
focused
much.
on our 22 20
single engine applications. Well, if you're going quads, well now, yeah, the boat's bigger, but there's 4 engines. So I don't know. I didn't understand that. I hate everything about the engine seems cool except for that. But
so we should start seeing updates on that tomorrow, like some of these
it's the releases come out Thursday. I know
Thursday.
Mercury's release is tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to stay tuned with that. And if you guys want, we'll do our best as the 3 of us and Travis to try to keep the page updated with any of that media coverage we see coming out. So
yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, because we're all interested in it. It's cool stuff. We want, and I'm sure there's guys out there as well. I got to give a shout out to Justin, who just logged in on. Forgive me, Justin. I don't remember what day it was, but Saturday or Sunday, ran into you guys. You guys were heading on the boat, hooked you guys up with some bait, and I know that you said you made a run and it paid off. He got his personal best. Now the cool part is,
good job.
is I've seen him come in the store, and I know that he is one of those purists, like we said, who wants to fish the lightest tackle possible. So a 1,000 size reel on an ultralight rod,
Nice.
6 pound mono, 15-pound test leader. He said so. Big ups to you, Justin. That's a hell of a fish on 31 inches. A hell of a fish on.
Jace, I
on
like
size.
it. 500 Merc on the
yak.
Yeah,
on
better
the
put
yak.
it in the middle.
Yeah, put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Or up front. Maybe just up front. Mullet style, mullet boat style. Not going to work.
Better go in the middle.
Cool. Well, with all our fishing heating up and us getting on the flats, I know one of kind of those recurring questions we tend to get. I really remember answering it several times throughout the season last year in the late summer. Was all the different ways we're rigging. A little video we're gonna hook you guys up with just to talk about the different ways that we're rigging whitebait. Whitebait's becoming more prevalent again. I think all of us are trying to put that in our wells, when that water temperature's up in the 70s. So let's throw that out to those guys real quick while we take a break. They can watch that when we come back, maybe answer any questions and kind of talk about those different styles that we use out on the water. So
hey guys, this week's tip seems to be a recurring theme on the show. We get asked a lot about rigging whitebait, the different ways to do it. Everybody's kind of got their own style, and I know we've covered it on the show before, but we're kind of getting back into whitebait season. Obviously, it's thick again with these warmer temps we've been seeing here in the middle of February. So we got some choice baits today. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough on some of the different ways we rig them. So let me grab
100%.
a decent one here. So definitely got some good ones today, but obviously using a circle hook. The cool thing about these ways you can rig these baits is you can almost steer the baits, in the different ways you rig them. I'd say probably the one that, between Rick, Jason, and Travis and I, we all have in common is our preferred method tends to be this through the nostril. And when I say through the nostril, it's a fine point. It's right there. You want to be careful. You don't want to go through the eyes. You don't want to come through the chin. You want to go right through the nostril right here. And you'll actually hear a click when you get it right. Just snapped in there. What that's going to do is that's going to let this bait swim, most naturally. Also, when you retrieve it, it's going to swim in. As you retrieve it, you can get bit a lot of times that way, but this is most of the time, I'd probably say 3/4 of the time, the way I'm rigging it. One of the other ways you can do it, if you want to keep that bait on the bottom, is you can actually kind of go through this pec fin. I call it the armpit, but there's a nice little spot, right there behind the pec fin, that if you get it right through, the bait will stay alive a long time, and it's a good tough spot. You see how hard it was for me to work it in there, and that's going to keep that bait kind of hugging the bottom. So dock fishing, a little bit deeper water, you're still going to be able to get a good hook set. It's not going to foul hook too much. Foul hooks when that hook point bends back in. So that's a good rigging spot. And then one of the ones I know Travis's favorite, he tends to do this a lot, and I learned it from him, is the tail hook. And one of my complaints about tail hooking is how easy it is to fling a bait off when you cast it. And he showed me something that if you take the point of the hook, this little part right here, not the actual point, but right where it bends in on a circle hook, and you kind of slide it forward, if I can do it, you can actually get it underneath the scales, just like I did there. And see how that hook point is kind of buried there? And come out. You got a nice... But anyways, nice spot to hook a bait. especially if you're fishing up against trees or up against structure and you want that bait to swim up under there, he's going to swim away from that hook or where that line's pulling him from. So he's going to swim in the opposite direction, meaning he's going to swim forward, nose forward, away from that hook. So it's a good one if you're doing a lot of mangrove fishing, dock fishing, you really want to get that bait in there. Sometimes it's hard to make that cast and land him in the right spot. If you can get him near there, a lot of times he'll swim away from where the tension is and swim up under there. So those are really the only 3 ways we tend to rig them. But any one will do. Thanks for watching.
Audio.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got audio.
Yeah, we're good. We got
good?
audio.
How about now?
How about now? Can you hear
Can
me
you
now?
hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're back in business.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Are we in informant mode
We're in
again?
informant mode.
All right, so,
God, this software.
oh, what we were talking about, guys, is
We're
during...
back again.
Sorry. We're the only ones that think this is funny. They don't know what's going on.
Here, I
So-
can hear. Hold on.
We were talking about, guys. Stop. Oh, man.
If we talk real slow, it'll be real bad.
So what we were talking about when that video was
He's
on
trying to
is
stay professional.
Jason, last year, every time we talk about the ways we rig a bait is, I only rig it through the nose. Here's the 3 ways.
I'm going all tail hook next one.
Yeah. All tail hook? I
All
bet you
tail.
won't because
I won't.
no, you
I
won't. I know you won't. That's a Travis thing primarily.
I know. I do it a little bit. Travis talked me into it one day.
But you know, it's true though. Like those 3 applications, and listen, there's probably a million ways to rig a whitebait. I just happen to only use 1, 2, or 3 of those. But the thing is, you can really. I talk about steering those baits. I generally will change those hook sets only based on that, and that's it. You know, I don't. If I want a bait to be on the bottom, I rig them on the bottom. If I want to swim in the trees, I'll rig them in the tail.
Yeah. What are you doing over there, Rick? Rick done snuck off. Yeah. So it just depends. It'll flutter.
Yeah.
And plus the birds are bad, so they stay down a little bit more.
Yep.
I will say you lose more fish on a belly hook because when the fish hits it, that hook will tend to swipe around into the side of the bait.
Sure.
And they spit it a lot. So, I don't know. I just got into tail hooking a lot. I used to nose hook everything, and I just.
What about when we're
What you got going there?
when we tarpon fish? When we tarpon fish,
Rick, we can clean up after the show, man.
when you're tarpon fishing or doing some of that deep water fishing, what's the method hooking you're using there?
Well, if I'm using cut bait, it really don't matter.
No, live bait. We're talking about live bait.
Live bait. Don't do that.
Mode.
Oh my goodness.
That was a lot of effort.
That
for
was
that.
way too much effort for that.
Oh my God, Rick, you're a train wreck.
Train wreck.
Um,
The reason I was
I'm in
asking is because we
informant
talked
mode.
about kind of like not getting that hook set or the foul hook. Do you ever use any of the beads, the soft beads, in any capacity
No.
to keep them from rolling over? Me neither. I'm just asking.
No, and I know it works. It's not that big of a problem. Not to say I won't try it next
This
week.
guy's got
and
no
say-
sense of humor.
Well, we did. It just took a lot of effort to go through that.
I mean, you look through the whole store to find that bag.
One bag.
I mean,
If it would have been like instant, like you walked off and came right back with it, it'd been a nail on the head.
you guys fuck your chest.
Yeah, man.
We're free of charge. We won't charge anybody that owns a production company wants to come in here and get us rolling
And help us.
professionally. We won't charge you. I'm just throwing it out there.
We won't charge them.
No.
So you won't charge them for a fishing trip.
Right. No, we won't charge them for them to come in here and hook us
I'm
up.
trying to get
If
it.
we have enough bad-
I tried, Rick.
No, we
If somebody come in here and hook us up, we'll treat them to dinner at
Wing House.
Wing House.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
all the wings you want on Wednesday night.
Yeah, as long as it's Wednesday night, we'll give you
Gotta
all the
be
boneless
Wednesday
wings you want.
boneless.
Speaking of which, I'm
Boneless.
getting
And
hungry.
Don't get bones.
Justin, answer your question, man. Yeah, it's back. You're going to have to look for it. You're not going to pull up on any flats. You're not going to start chumming up, and you're not going to just have bait show up in that Gandy to St. Pete area. But with some persistence, a bottom machine, and enough time. Yeah.
Thing there. But you know, fish are still eating shrimp. I almost fished with shrimp today. If it wasn't raining, we were going to go
Yeah.
and catch some reds in the river system. Maybe do some trout. We're going to throw these guys are good fishermen, so I could have thrown, artificials with them. But it was raining at 11 o'clock. I just said, you know what?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we kind of rearranged our day.
When it's been nice, like it has, the past, I forget when it warmed up, about a week ago. And prior to that, most of early January was that same manner.
Yep.
Even when bait was easily accessible and fish were eating it, I was still grabbing shrimp every day for a few reasons. You just don't know. Could show up and it's gone, especially in my neck of the woods up north. But also, there are sea fishing. That right now is still going to be the ticket. I've been putting smaller white baits in front of these snapper just as much as the shrimp.
Yeah.
They can't turn a shrimp down. They can turn a greenback down right now. Should I fish here's Jace, you got a
Cockroach
question.
bait's been pretty good.
Backside of cockroach or the flats on Friday? Well, he's asking, I think he's set on cockroach, if I'm not mistaken, Jace, but he's wondering backside or front side.
Both.
Both, yeah. I would say that you're going to, depending on where you launch, you're probably going to have to go through the front to get to the back.
Yeah. Why not start at the
So you might as well check it while you're out there. I can tell you in my experience, I've been finding fish on both, Jace. I haven't been fishing cockroach. But you can, with a lot of confidence, I guess
fire
we got a referral from Manny.
Gonna fire us all.
Paul Fleming from Fish Pot. He could probably help us out.
Hey, I like it. We need all the help we can get.
Or we need Travis back next week.
Send his
That always
number.
helps our technical.
Probably the best thing to do is give Travis his number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given the number to us, that we're just gonna have that.
Too many
Well,
steps
to me,
involved
anyway,
there.
these guys got a much better chance at making it happen, but I not gonna happen.
Hey,
Yeah,
well,
we
you know
have
who's
that
been giving
blank.
us some love and some plugs lately is Kurt from O'Brien's Fishing
Yes,
Club.
sir.
So
Yes,
I know
Kurt's a
he's
good
got an
man.
update because, what is it, Friday or Saturday?
Well, they haven't. I got all the information right here. They're having their meeting tonight,
Yeah.
and
Tyler Fiejo is speaking at that meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
and the tournament Saturday. It's the
Well, it starts.
yes. It
Rick,
runs,
you're
it,
doing a horrible job with this announcement.
well, you know,
this is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
it's my fault, but yeah, it goes from February 16th to November 9th.
There
Guys,
you go.
I'm sorry.
And it's a battle of the species.
Battle of the Species.
Yeah, battle of the bay.
O'Brien's Fishing Club.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me, I'm a jokester. Sorry if I always take the show the wrong way. You making it easy though,
No.
Rick. I mean,
Yeah,
you got like
I got
one thing out of that whole page you have read off of there.
and I messed it up.
But we were here for you. That's why we are here to back you up.
With friends like y'all, I don't need
Yeah.
any enemies.
I
We're
mean,
always going to
James
have bait, and we're always going to correct
Yeah.
you.
James is trying to keep this show professional.
Trying to
but he's
keep it
just
right.
outnumbered.
Yeah.
He's outnumbered with me. and
Travis, I need you back, brother.
Yeah.
Please, next week.
you. Oh,
yes,
And we'll
for me.
yeah. So, the other thing,
Yes. Hey, Monty's right. I went by there today, and the train tracks are all tore up. And I mean, it's like you can't cross there.
Can you get up through Gulf City?
You could probably go that way. I'm sure.
no,
I'm sure. I'm sure you can.
no, it's blocked.
They
Not
had-
on Saturday and
They
Sunday.
had all the rocks. They had all the rocks off today,
Uh-huh.
and the It was just track sitting
Wow.
They'll fix that fast, so they can't.
I would think. Yeah.
they'll fix that fast.
Yeah, the cockroach boat ramp economy is such, you know.
It's a thriving.
Yeah.
It's
You got to get that one back up and running for the sake of our county.
Somebody Kent posted too. If you guys are at the Miami Boat Show, Pathfinder's at A205 booth, so go by there.
Cool.
And if you see this so-called, do us a Facebook Live video
Please.
and tag us in it. We're excited, and we can't be there. We're like kids in candy stores.
know.
I'm
something
ecstatic that I'm not there.
Yeah. I like doing that stuff,
I
man.
don't.
Yeah.
I do. Rick's a fuddy-dud sometimes.
I'm an old fuddy duddy. You guys go knock yourself out and represent well.
Oh, give me a
I
cold
do- I
beer
would
and
like
let
to
me
go to
walk around
ICAST.
aimlessly.
ICAST
Yeah,
would
that's
be
what I like doing at
interesting.
ICAST. I like doing all your
Let's
appointments and then
Never been.
Will you ride?
You've never been?
Will
Never
you
been.
ride
Oh,
in the
okay.
three-wheel bike with me?
Sure.
Me and Travis had
Yeah.
fun there.
cool. Well, guys, we're coming up to that point where we're about to end it. So, I mean, unless
Well,
you-
hey, I want to. Before we do,
Oh, sorry,
hey,
sorry,
hey, you shut me down already.
I'm hungry.
Guys, I know we're at the end of the show. Leave us some comments on here about what you guys would like us to do different
That's right.
on the show. A prop show. I like props and performance and all that. So
well, not just different, but ideas.
ideas
topics.
like
Yeah,
topics besides
absolutely.
just fishing. It has to be fishing
Yeah.
related, but it doesn't have to be. Like instance, we did a trailer. The trailer one I thought came out real good. And give us some time to set it up, but we'd like to give
Joe
give
Cruz,
some-
power pull down. Man, I can't believe I made it through the show. It goes without saying. I think we all would agree. Power pole, second to none in service.
Oh,
Best in the
I mean,
business,
it's incredible.
bar none.
Like, I don't even know why when I call him, I still think for some reason that I might not be able to get taken care of. Like
Right.
that it's just like whenever you're dealing with some warranty stuff with the companies, you're always got that.
best.
You've always got
Yeah.
that reservation of, man, I don't know if it's going to.
It's all a hoax, man. I don't know. I had never seen them before.
Did you see my picture yesterday, my power pole knuckle? I was fishing in some wind,
It broke.
and we were setting up on these fish, man. I could not slow down, so I kept using the power pole, and then boom, knuckle broke. And it's the 10-foot. It's been used a lot, but so I mess with it and I deactivate the power to that one pump, go through the rest of the day. Call him when I get off the water. It's like 2:00, and he's like, "Yeah, you're good. I got you all set up."
Yeah, there you go.
And man, I stopped by. Everything's right there waiting. Joe, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Big fans of yours here, all of us. So
No
thanks
doubt.
for what you do
Yeah,
for the
they-
industry and the angler.
They
Well,
are the best.
I will tell you this, that I get the opportunity to test some stuff for them. The fact that there's still companies
Yeah.
is huge in its own deal, and the fact that when it does break, they're going to back it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's this thing called talent. I think it's just a hoax. I don't know if I've ever seen one.
I've seen one talent in my life.
and it was broke.
On the water. Yeah. I've seen a lot on pictures of them, but
It just don't look
It's
like
like a hoax.
It just the whole idea just don't look like it will work.
I wonder if we could do a little.
well, in freshwater, when I look at it and I see the things that ours go through, right? Like the waves, the bouncing, just don't see how that fixed straight down can.
I just don't see how the corrosion drawing that stuff in there
Mhm.
can work.
No, we'll see.
So
well,
Rods, reels, Manny, yeah, definitely.
maybe we can get. Don't know somebody that breaks down reels.
Yeah,
Can we?
yeah. Well, one thing somebody messaged us a while back is our care process. Because I've been saying how I barely ever get reels cleaned in service,
I don't.
but I take care of my gear my
Spray
own
'em
way.
off.
So maybe we need to walk them through that. Is like what we do to our reels every so often. It's
Well,
usually like respool day for me. Is I'll take my
You
spool.
talking about like cleaning it?
Yeah, just not a full
Well, I
clean.
might need to miss that show because I just rinse them and throw them in the.
Well, a
car.
little bit of
I do.
cleanse oil or
Hit 'em
something
with
here
some-
now.
Hit 'em
Yeah.
with some
If they get
hose and
stiff,
that's
they
it.
go
Yeah.
in the box and then they go to Daiwa and they fix
Yeah.
them and give them
That's
back.
exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, good stuff, Manny. We'll try to get you some
he cleans his reels.
He's young.
That guy's look
He's
bad,
young.
man.
you can
He's young.
spray through a hole in the top of the towel. There you go, Justin. All right, good deal. Well, that's a wrap, fellas. We're heading over to our house over there by the stadium. So join us. Should be a good one. Well, trivia's coming back. We're lining up all
Yeah,
our prizes.
we're actually. What did it say about
Whole
trivia? Yeah,
cleaning
we're
and maintenance.
actually.
All right, good topics
We're
here.
trying to get a trivia sponsor, and we're in talks with FWC on that. So.
And we got Blue Water Gear
Yeah.
back us all the way on giveaways on that. Plus, we got some companies here that are going to step up to the plate. Humpback. Maybe we'll do some humpback or some pliers or line. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll
New
figure it
braid for
but,
Heroes
but
launch.
Matt, the
Is
trivia
it?
is definitely
Nice.
it's definitely in the
Matt,
making.
you should see trivia by the start of March. By the end of this month,
Yeah,
we should have all
for
that
sure.